Welcome back. In the pots today, we've actually got a brand new colorway and a new style of dyeing, which is pretty cool. Every once in a while, we like to play a little bit in the pots, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again sometimes gets a little boring. You got to spice things up. So I decided, you know what? I've had quite a few questions where people are asking me for assigned pooling. Now, before you get too excited, I can tell you right off the hop, this didn't work out that way. It is a beautiful, stunning colorway, but it is not an assigned pooling colorway. We're still going to keep working on that, but I still wanted to share the video. Colorway ended up absolutely stunning. So let's dig into it here real quick. Yarns in the pot. We got our soak in the pot. It is not a mid-immersion. We've actually got a little bit less soak in there than we normally would. It's got about 1 cup of soak. We are going to take and splash in a lot of this dark navy blue. Not so much navy, sorry. It's more towards the teal, the turquoise side of things, but it's still a beautiful blue. What we ended up doing is we've got 3 sets of dye going in here, all in the exact same color. So when we talk about assigned pooling, basically we want the majority of the colorway to be exactly the same all the way around, and then we're gonna have a little spark of color in here, just like this. So we went with just kind of a dark blue, and then we threw in just a little bit of pink on the edge. My honest hope was that this was going to create almost like a salt and pepper kind of effect. We were gonna have a lot more pepper than salt, obviously, but unfortunately, we got a little bit too much salt in the pot. So basically, my little splash of color was more than what it should have been. I should have only dyed perhaps on the one side. My biggest concern was that that blue was going to bleed through on the other side. So we ended up just doing exactly what you see, just that little splash of color on the one side. Now, being as this is quite a bit more dye than we're used to working with, we want to cook it off for a nice long while. Definitely, we put about 15 minutes in here, and even then we've got a little bit of this blue coming through. The blue that we ended up using is a mix of a Twilight and Sea Breeze. Now this Sea Breeze is really hard to exhaust. It's almost like our golden yellow. It doesn't seem to matter how long you cook this, a little bit of the blue is coming through. Oh, you can see there's just a little bit of a knot in there. Don't untangle wet yarn. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Don't untangle your wet yarn. Make sure you wait till it's dry, and this stuff just kind of comes apart nice and easy. So rather than having a ridge in the middle, you'll notice I'm kind of puffing up the end here, and that's to stop the blue from taking over on the pink. We're going to do the exact same thing on this side. So we got the same 3 sets of blue. There's no variation between them in any way, shape, or form. They're all the exact same color, exact same amount of saturation. Basically, we get our 3 blues in here, we're going to get them mixed, and then we're going to throw that exact same pink down at the bottom. So I was just really trying to hold everything together here and only have 2 different colors. The thing about hand-dyed yarn is it doesn't always listen to you. Sometimes it just kind of does its own thing, and that's exactly what this colorway did to me. So even though my colors are the colors I was going for, the end result ended up being just, there was too much of that pinky purple in there. So it ends up spreading through the colorway just a little bit further than I had hoped. It ends up being just under half. So we've got about 3/4 that is this nice dark deep blue, and then about 1/4 of it ended up being this pink, and it's too much pink. So we're going to revise this a little bit more, hit it up next time, see if we can't get this assigned pooling colorway going. Obviously we'll pick some different colors, but we've got it cooked off. We did about 15 minutes on this side as well, just trying to get it as cooked as humanly possible. And you are going to notice just the tiniest little bit of blue left here in the pot. So I'm going to pick this up. You can see it's not a ton. Like, we're not talking about a huge loss in dye, but there is definitely just that tiny little bit of a blue tinge. And you can see here, most of this colorway is blue, but there's still way too much pink for it to be called an assigned pooling colorway. So I'm gonna get this twisted up here real quick. This is on our fingering weight base, 80/20 merino nylon. Absolutely beautiful sock weight yarn. Not necessarily you have to use it for socks, but that is what it's called, a sock weight yarn. So you can see it's got quite a bit of that blue in it. It does have a little bit too much of the pink. Up next, we have our DK weight, which is also an 80/20 merino nylon. Oddly enough, the DK always ends up coming just the tiniest bit lighter, faded, if you will. I don't really like using the word faded, but just a tiny bit more faded than our fingering weight. Yeah, now that I'm talking, I can honestly tell you, I kind of messed this one up. Let's do this one again. One thing that I really want to do when I'm twisting up this yarn is I want to make sure that the focal point of the yarn itself showcases as much of the colors as we possibly can. And being as we really only have 2 colors with a little bit of variance, 2 main colors here, I just want to make sure that that is really showcased on the bottom here. So we've got that blue, we've got that pink. You might have to just adjust where you're doing your twisting to make sure that it's coming out right. So I've got it just pulled so that that pink reaches the center, and I want it going all the way up the side, but I also want to showcase that this is mostly a blue colorway. So on the other end of things, I've got no pink, just the blue, and that really kind of showcases the end twisted skein for what I consider to be the colors that are in this colorway. So as you can see, a little bit of pink, lots of blue, not quite enough to be called assigned pooling. Let's get them in here in the light box so you can see them side by side. This is our fingering weight. Beside that, I'm going to put the DK weights. Now you can see there isn't a ton of difference when it comes to these two. There is just a little bit, but not a ton. And then right beside that, we've got our worsted weight, which is a beautiful, beautiful base. One of my favorites, 100% merino. If I'm going to grab anything, chances are I'm going to grab that worsted weight. Into the swatcher, the swatch machine, of course. Should never be used with a drill. I highly suggest. You can see that there isn't a lot of patterning going on as I'm spinning this around. If this was assigned pooling, it should have been lots and lots of blue and then just kind of a few stitches here and there of the pink. That's not the way it ended up going for me. So it is an absolutely beautiful colorway. I love how it turned out. It just didn't turn out the way I expected it to, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how this works sometimes. Even I don't get what I want every single time. So into the light box, you can see lots and lots of variants here. Beautiful, but not assigned pooling. Okay, on to the Swift, if we will. This is our, let's see if I can't get that off there. There we go. This is, oh man, I'm struggling today. This is our worsted weight, which is a 100% merino superwash, beautiful base, absolutely stunning. Grab this right here. There are 2 ties on our worsted base. One of them is going to have 4 strands. That's going to be the start of the hank, end of the hank, and the tie wrapped around, tied to itself. So just going to pull this off here a little bit. I think I grabbed the right one. Looks like it. This one kind of tucks in behind. So we're going to tie that one off. Just kind of wrap it up, throw it around. And then if we pull on this, it looks like we've got a strand that's kind of wrapped up around here. So you do need to be careful. Sometimes it looks like there's the 4 strands. There really is only the 2. Just kind of pay attention to what's attached to what when you're pulling on these, because you could technically cut your hank in half. And that would be a horrible, horrible thing. There are not a lot of knots in these hanks. I can tell you off the hop, I've run into maybe 1 or 2 in all of the hanks that I've touched. So not a lot of knots. Do your best not to cut it so you don't have to make one. Into the caker. This is a stunning, stunning colorway. I really like how this turned out. I know, again, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but it is beautiful. And this cake is really going to take and highlight that for me. So it's all caked up. I'm not going to make you sit through it. It's kind of boring. But look at the saturation on this thing. Just how the blues and pinks play. It is stunning. I love it. Absolutely love it. We do have a few others that have some blues and pinks in them, but this one just, it mixes just right. It's like everything came together the way it was supposed to, even though I wasn't trying to. Happy accidents, right? Look at that. Beautiful. Let's get into the light box, take a little bit of a closer look. There we go. Look at that. Just the saturation on it. Everything is just blended so well. Outside of the cake, inside of the cake, everything is the same color. That's how you know we did it right in the first place. Beautiful. Love it. On to one of my favorite parts of these videos. and that would be the pairings. Up first, we have today's creation, which is called Day's End. Up beside that, we have Peacock's Feather. Now this one's got that same kind of pink, just a little bit dirtier, if you will. A little bit more purple to it, and that blue is pretty much exactly the same. Beside that, we have our brand new colorway called Talk Birdie to Me. Beautiful little splashes of pink in this one, and that teal really kind of matches with the blues in Day's End. Up next to that, we have Take Me to Church. That one is moving a little bit further towards the pink side of things. Beautiful colorway, I love it. Up beside that, we have From Afar. This one here, same kind of pinks, a little bit of purple splash to it, a little bit lighter. Absolutely love this colorway. Actually, funny story, From Afar and Take Me to Church were pretty much made at the exact same time. So it's funny these two are pretty matchy-matchy in here. Next, we have Lavender Fields Forever. Now, I just want to show you, this one has some blue speckling to it. This blue actually comes out of the chestnut sprinkle that is in this colorway. So I know it's kind of hard to see it on the website, but this does have that just tiny splash of blue in it. A little bit of purple, a little bit of pink. Beautiful colorway. Before we get too far, we need to do the semi-solid pairings as well. So, Day's End up first, of course. Up beside that, we have Grape Juice. Beautiful purple, very rich, a little bit darker. And on the other side of things, we have our Midnight. This is absolutely stunning. Like, I love these three together, the Midnight, Day's End, and Grape Juice. Up beside that, we have Plum on the outside, on the right-hand side. This is kind of playing into that purple. It is a little bit of a brighter purple. And then on the other side of things, we have Teal. Now, these four absolutely just complement this colorway. I think all four of these, any one of these would be the correct choice for this colorway if you're looking for a semi-solid. And if you're looking for a little bit of contrast, I would probably look at the dark gray, which is one of those colors that doesn't always come up in my selections, but it is a very, very beautiful neutral. Now, of course, if you haven't subscribed to my videos, you probably should. I like to do giveaways if you haven't noticed. We have our Misty River colorway, which is not available on the website. It's not available anywhere. Just here on YouTube as a giveaway. I've got 8 skeins left. That's right, 8 skeins. And I really, really, really want to give them away. I really do. But what I need you to do is go hit that subscribe button. Go hit that notification bell. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Pretty please, if you don't mind. I am literally dying to give you some yarn. Don't mind the puns. Seriously, go subscribe. The winner will be announced in our next video. So, you still have a chance. Now let's get to that big reveal. Day's End, of course. Combination of dark, rich blues with just a shot of pink, a little tad of purple. The purple was caused, obviously, by the blues and the pinks mixing. As always, there is a swatch available. Last photo of every single listing on our website. Where's that big reveal? Right there. Look at that. Day's End. Beautiful colorway. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching another video with me. I'll hope to see you again soon.